What is up, y'all? Welcome back to the first official episode of Allegedly. And of course, 2026 did not disappoint. We started off with a bang, but I've got two stories for you that we're going to talk about before that. Let me let you know that I am not a legal professional. All the information that I share with you, I get from reputable sources or reputable public outlets. What I have for you today is a doozy. The show where we don't convict, we don't speculate, at least wildly, and we don't skip the uncomfortable questions. This is our first episode of 2026, and today we're covering two different stories that share one unsettling theme: premeditation. Now, one unfolds on a quiet residential street in Killeen, Texas, where a young woman lost her life, and investigators are still piecing together what led up to it. The other plays out on a global stage where reports claim a sitting president was captured and brought into face justice, a claim that, if true, could rewrite modern geopolitical history. Both stories are still developing, but both involve power, planning, and the question we always ask here: who knew what and when? Now, in the early morning hours of November 26, 2025, a Killeen police responded to reports of gunshots at a home on Monte Carlo Lane. Now, inside the residence, officers found 22-year-old Ty Lynn Akaya Wright suffering from gunshot wounds. She was pronounced unalive at the scene. A second victim, a 26-year-old man that was also pew-pewed, but survived with non-life-threatening injuries. Investigators quickly determined something important. The shots were fired from outside of the home. This was not a confrontation inside of the home at all. This was someone firing into it. Now, for weeks, police worked quietly. No motive was released, no suspect named. Then on December 31st, 2025, authorities arrested 18-year-old Jada Raquel Levy. She was charged with murder and aggravated assault and booked into the Bell County Jail. Bond was set at $300,000. Now, at this time of this recording, Levy has not gone to trial. She is presumed innocent. Here's what we don't know. Here's where the case becomes especially difficult and important to cover responsibly. Law enforcement has not publicly released a motive. They have not confirmed relationships between the suspect and its victims, and they have not officially confirmed whether the shooting was targeted or why. But that hasn't stopped the conversation. In the weeks following the arrest, social media posts and community discussions began circulating claims about text messages that allegedly suggested planning and or intent before the shooting. Phrases implying someone was about to pew-pew or that harm was being discussed in advance. So let us be very clear here. These messages were not confirmed by the police nor prosecutors at this time or at the time of this recording. They have not been entered into evidence in open court, and they remain allegations and not facts. However, if such messages do exist and are authenticated, they could become a central part of the prosecution's case. Now, do know this. I am part of a lot of the community boards of this area because I live in it, literally steps away from Fort Hood. And a lot of speculations and screenshots and things have been shared on certain pages, the SVC in Killeen and things like that. And I know for a fact that at least one or some of the parties within this case were active contributors of the page. Now, this case, the next one, we're going to highlight something we're sending more and more in modern criminal investigations. Digital communications, text, DMs, voice notes can turn tragedy into a timeline. A single message can mean the difference between a crime of impulse and a charge of premeditation. So until the court documents are released, we are left the questions: was this planned? Was it targeted? And what led someone so young to allegedly commit such a violent act? Those answers will come, but only in court. But these are one of the things when I see people this young being accused of or committing these type of crimes, I wonder, and and this is probably why I am so engulfed into true crime. I always wonder, like, what is why, right? Like, what made you think that, one, you can either get away with this, or what would take you to this extreme? Now, do I know that there are many reasons why this can occur? Absolutely, because, sometimes humans are not so kind. to each other. No. And sometimes things push you to the point of no return. However, we'll see what happens with this. I hope that everybody's family who is involved and friends and people who were close to the victim and the accused find peace and are able to get through this. And I know that Killeen as a community will band together. Now we shift from Texas to the international stage. In early January 2026, multiple reports have been circulating claiming that the Venezuelan president Nicolas Maduro had been captured and transported to the United States to face a long-standing federal charges. If this is true, this is unprecedented. I mean, seriously. But here's where allegedly will slow things down for you. What is confirmed? This is what's confirmed. The United States has indicted Nicolas Maduro since 2020 on charges including narco-terrorism, drug trafficking, and conspiracy. The U.S. has offered multi-million-dollar rewards for information leading up to his arrest. Maduro has long denied all charges, claiming political persecution. What is not universally confirmed is the exact circumstances of his alleged capture, whether the operation occurred as described, whether international law was violated, and whether Maduro retains claims to diplomatic immunity. Some outlets report a covert operation, others describe it as a coordinated international effort. Still others question whether the reports are exaggerated or incomplete. Now, according to reports attributed to Maduro and his supporter, he denies wrongdoing, of course he does, and asserts that he remains the legitimate president of Venezuela. His legal team is expected, if proceedings continue, to argue head of state immunity, jurisdictional overreach, and unlawful detention. So, if it proceeds, could take years to resolve. Now, whether confirmed or in full or not, the implications are massive. It signals a shift of how international criminal allegations are enforced. It challenges the concept of untouchable political power, and it raises uncomfortable questions about sovereignty. I can't say that word. Sovereign. Okay. Justice and force. This is not just a legal story, it's a power story. So what do a murder investigation and Killeen allegations against a world leader have in common? Intent, power, and evidence we leave behind. In one case, investigators may be looking at text messages, teenagers, in the other, decades of intelligence, indictments, and international pressure. Different scales, same question. Who planned what, and who will be held accountable? As always, we keep following the facts, the filings, and the fallout, because here we don't decide on guilt, we tell you what's alleged. Thank you for watching Allegedly one more time. Welcome back to Allegedly. Happy New Year. And God, Jesus, please behave, you guys. What the heck? You guys I have story after story. Next episode, we're going to be talking about the celebrity fallout. So please, it's not just Diddy in the hot seat. I hope you all have a great day. Thank you so much for watching. And may you all have the day you deserve, especially you, Maduro.